Welcome back to the Peaks Video Ministry Q&A with Pastor Aaron and Tim. In one of our previous videos, we had a question about dinosaurs, and in Aaron's explanation of the thoughts behind that, there was a comment about evolution, which led to one viewer asking, if evolution doesn't exist, then how do you explain COVID and variants of COVID? So Aaron, how do you want to approach this one?
So first of all, let me say that I'm a young earth creationist, and that means that I believe literally that God created the earth in 6 days by speaking it into creation. There are Christians who love the Lord, and they feel like God orchestrated evolution. I don't feel that you can get that through the Bible, but there's a man who is the recently retired boss of Dr. Fauci. The Dr. Fauci, he was the head of the National Institute of Health, is a devout Christian, and he feels like God directed evolution. You really can't get that from the Bible, though. The Bible does say that God spoke things into creation. And if you look at things that, like I said on the dinosaur video, there's a resource called Is Genesis History, and there are some guys on there who go and compare science with with geology. Just great. There are a lot of really smart guys. We'll discuss that there. But basically, we believe that God created each after his kind. That's what the Bible says. Mm-hmm. He created the cattle after their kind, which means that he created species. And the species is, we believe that they're unchanging. There's no jump in between species.
Right.
If it was created there, then it is that. But we believe in variations in the species, and that's actually what spurred Darwin to start his whole what we call Darwinian macroevolutions. He saw the change in the beaks of finches when he was on a boat in the tropical islands, and he felt like due to their climate, due to their food source, that they had evolved to that, and that they could somehow evolve beyond that. What he actually observed was microevolution. We all agree, and we can all see through the world around us, that microevolution does exist. So what I have here is I have a dog, and this is Niles. If any of you know my wife, you have seen Niles. He is a giant snoodle. But if you look at his bone structure, if you look at him, his DNA, if we took his DNA, we would find out that Niles here is a canine. All right, he is a canine. All right, go to your mom. This is Maggie. All right, Maggie, if we didn't see Maggie, she is 3 pounds, Niles is about 60. Now they have different characteristics. She has pointy little ears and a coat that does shed, and she's got a little stubby tail, which actually we cut that. But there's a lot of difference between Niles and Maggie. If you took a DNA swab of both of them, you would find out they're both canines, right? Their species is their canines. They're drastically different. They've been bred for different characteristics, but each one is still a canine. Neither one of them has become a cat. Neither one of them has become a marine mammal. They're both canines. And that's what happens with the coronavirus. The coronavirus does mutate, but the coronavirus at no point in time has ever been a bacteria. Sometimes we forget there is a divide between diseases caused by bacteria and diseases caused by viruses. But viruses are totally different creatures than bacteria. And so you will never see the coronavirus all of a sudden become the coronabacteria one day. It will always be a variation of a coronavirus. We see it with the flu virus. We see it with a lot of things. But they have always and forever been viruses, bacteria, dogs, cats, humans, that type of thing. So we all believe in microevolution, which is adaptation. And I believe that adaptation is actually a blessing from God. We see it in humanity. We see people whose ancestors came from around the equator and they're darker skinned, and that helps them, quite frankly, not to have skin cancer and the things that people like us from the European descent, when we go and live in places like Australia or at the equator, we get skin cancer. Or we weren't adapted and
more susceptible.
Yeah, yep. We weren't blessed by God with that skin tone that helps us. So microevolution is actually the blessing of God. Macroevolution, the jumping from species to species, is taking something way out of context that someone observed.
Good answer. So we appreciate the follow-up question on evolution. If you have any other questions or about the Bible or anything else from a previous video, please follow the link that's in the description below and we'll answer your question.
Thanks.